Hi there guys, this is Cassandra. I'm a Riffle in Time and I'm so glad you're here. Tonight we are doing the Let's Be Tarot Friends tag by Tarot is Magic. I am excited. There's a lot of cool questions. We're just gonna hang out. This is really, you guys are my tarot friends. So the first two questions looking at, I think kind of overlap for me. So I'll probably do these together. It's what type of art are you looking for in a deck? And what do you search for in a deck? And one of my big things is I really love a unique deck. So if I find a deck that I don't have anything like it, that's like check mark. And so the art being unique. I really also love provoking, something that feels provoking and reflective to me. I can't help it, I like colorful decks too. I do have some black and white decks that I adore, but I will say I probably tend to go for a more colorful vibe. I'm not sure if there's a certain art style that I'm super drawn to. I really do like a variety. I like a little of everything, and that would probably be my good answer for that. What deck are you most intrigued by right now is our third. And what deck am I most intrigued by? I would honestly probably have to give it to Ritual Tarot right now. And that's just, I feel like there's just nothing I have that's quite like it. And it has me in this really, I want to do different things with it. I've told you guys, I want to do a guided meditation with this. I could just look at this deck for ever, it feels like, and I don't know. I'm really drawn to it right now. I'm really excited when I get to use it, and it just has me, it stretches what I know, what I'm capable of, it pushes me, and I just really I'm attracted to the images too. They're just a lot. The next question, is there a card in a deck you always check out first and why? And I think one of my first answers is funny because everybody usually checks out the Fool first because it's the first card. But I think even if it wasn't, I would still look at it pretty immediate. I obviously I go to the majors first, like most people, I think, and cards that I feel I need to have a good Fool. The Tower is another one I really look at. Some of my favorite decks, I really enjoy the Tower card of. Or it's at least their Tower card is something that sticks out in my head. When I thought of that, the first thing I thought of is Somnia. I love Somnia's Tower card. And also, I really like the framing of the Tower in Outgrow Yourself, that pain is growing. I think, let's see if I can find it rather quickly. I always look at the High Priestess, and the Star is another one. Did I go past it in trying to quickly? No, it's the last card. It's the very last card. I really love this Tower card. This is my, seriously, probably my favorite Tower card. Those are a couple of the cards I really try to notice. If there is one card in a deck you really don't like, would you, it says miss out on it. I think I remember in the video it being miss out on it being not buy it or pass it along. And I think there's a lot of times where I see a deck, and if there's a couple cards that I'm really having a visceral reaction kind of vibe, I won't get the deck. If there's a card that just doesn't sit right with me, I wouldn't buy it. Sometimes you don't know that until it happens, or you have a deck and you've never pulled that card. I don't know if anyone's done that. I've definitely had decks where I pulled a card and I'm I do not love that, even that art or whatever it is. But I'm trying to think if there's a deck that I do pass along decks that I don't really connect with the artwork. So I feel like that would be a yes. I also think that something that like certain depictions of a card, it's just not my favorite. And I don't know if I really liked the whole deck other than that card, I might still do it, as long as it's, again, not something that's like against like my values, you know? So what is your favorite slash least favorite card in the tarot, and why? I will find that most decks, and I won't say all decks, but most decks, I'm not a huge fan of the Hierophant card. Hierophant. But there is one that I really enjoy. Where are you? I really enjoy from Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. And it's actually one of the reasons I fell in love with Tarot of the Holy Spectrum so hard. This is the Infinity Edition, but this is definitely one of like the first cards that I was just like, I have to have that deck now, because I do struggle to find like a good connection with that card. So I really love that. And also I really love the, so let me show you that first. I really love, this is the most like connected I've ever felt to this card. And so it can take it from being my least favorite card to my favorite card in the deck. So that's like a big deal. Also, I really love when the Fool and the World connect. So in this deck, and like in the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. So I really love when they feel really full circle, because I think that, I mean, you know, just, that's so good. Let's see. Really love when the World and the Fool can feel, you know, full circle. Another card that I don't like, the Three of Swords. I feel like that's pretty universal. Most people, like, not only do I not like the representation most people have for the card, because it just doesn't feel like anything to me. I really love a good Three of Swords though, but who likes to pull the Three of Swords? That's one of those cards I'm like, the Tower for me is like, I know a lot of people hate the Tower. It's obviously, I'm not like, please give me Tower moments, but I always feel like in Tower situations, it's like something that needs to happen. It's like burning everything down in a good way. But the Three of Swords situations, at least in my personal experience, just feel like random just shot to the heart, you know? It's just, the Tower situations, like, it's enough is enough, you know? And it's just like burning the ground for renewal's sake, you know? But by God, I hate the Three of Swords. And I would probably say like the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands are also, like, I don't love to get those cards, though I really love a good depiction of those cards. Hold on, we're going on another mission. I really love the depiction of the Ten of Wands in Numinous Tarot. So hold on, let me get you. Oh, it's candles in this deck actually, but wow. I really love that. It just gives a different vibe. I can like feel like the weight of that. You know, just very provoking. Again, something I really love in a deck. So what do people close to you feel about tarot and you doing tarot? So I do not have tarot friends really. So other than here, but like people in like my family and like my physical space, my dad surprised me and he's been like super supportive and loving. And my brother I know is always down to rock with me for whatever I do. same with my partner. My partner is very like loving and supportive and just like here to support me, but none of them share like the interest. I find my dad, actually, I got my dad a deck after he got curious, and he actually pulls cards. He's learning, so that's so cool to me. And I do have a friend who is just like, she's supportive. She really loves to hear about like my adventures and my passions of it. She doesn't do herself like pull cards, but she likes when I give her readings, so that's sweet. But I really do kind of, I think I was talking about this recently in a video, that I really feel like that need and want of connection with people who share common interests. So I think that's everybody who does this tag probably has that common feeling. Okay, so how do you feel about the esoteric stuff in tarot? So this was like the astrology, numerology, you know. I think it is absolutely amazing how much is like hidden in a card in itself and how many layers there are, I guess. I want to know more about the different like astrology. I've talked before about how I have a very, very basic knowledge of astrology, and it's on my to-do list of things I want to get more into, like astrology and numerology. I want to know, I would love to always have more information that will help me better like understand the cards. But I've talked before too, is like I do try to read more intuitively and more off of like the images and like how like I'm getting like the initial gut like feeling reactions to. And I do find that when I get caught up in looking at things too hard, like my knowledge brain will get in the way of the message that like I'm trying to get. I feel a lot of the times I will get too like analytical and I will miss something that if I got out of my way, I would see. So I think that a lot of like my channeling is more again off that and like intuitive like download, versus if I am struggling to get the message, that's when I go into the symbols. That's when I go into like my little knowledge book of what do I know about this card, and then I'll play there. But I really do love to do like the first bit of it, just what do I see, what do I feel, what do I hear, what do I taste kind of vibe. Like do the body scan. So the next, RWS, Thoth, Marseille, and why. So I probably do have a tendency to go to like an RWS deck, because I feel like more of the decks that I've been introduced to and around, and just that they're just based off of usually that like depiction. I don't have like a specific connection to RWS. It's just like the decks that I'm getting tend to be that. But as you know, one of my favorite decks pretty much of all time is Outgrow Yourself, which is a Thoth-based tarot oracle. So it doesn't matter to me as much as, again, the deck is provoking to me. Again, since I'm doing the download, I'm doing like, it feels like a Claire, you know, kind of situation. Like I cannot remember clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudient, you know, there's different Claires. I just feel like I know. I don't know. I don't know what I know, but I feel like I know it. You know what I mean? No. But that kind of is more where I am trying to go to, but my base knowledge is really pretty Rider-Waite-Smith, just because of the decks that I've used before, and that's the system that most of them are. So I guess RWS, because that is like the most common in my circle, but really I am down to read. What are your thoughts on cardstock? Cardstock, I am not a snob entirely, but I do love a good cardstock. That is probably, if you watched my Riffle Shuffle tutorial, I talk about cardstock. I talk a lot about that. I don't know, like I'm not somebody who's like, I need a 330 GSM black, I don't know. I don't even know all the words, but give me a linen. Give me Outgrow Yourself or Way Home. I do not know what, I'm assuming they're black core because that seems to be everybody's favorite, but they have this almost like, Way Home calls it an aqueous finish. And I don't know what it is about those decks, but they shuffle, probably my favorite of all time. Actually, my favorite all time, because that's my two I don't do. Bags or boxes? Both. I do find that the more decks I get, though, the more I've tended to want the boxes because I get lost. I get confused. I forget what bag's what sometimes. I do love bags. 4 bags. Moonlit Fae is my favorite bags that I personally like rock with. I know there's a lot of people who do bags, but that's who if you see my bags and you like them, that's who I do bags with. I hate tuck boxes. Don't be mad at me. I know that there's a couple people I know who really like tuck boxes. I cannot stand tuck boxes only because I am so absolutely ruthless with them. I can't, like, I don't even mean to be, like, I open them, I'll just like rip the whole top off. I had a copy of the Deviant Moon, and within the first like 24 hours, I think I ripped it. And so they just kept falling out. Oh my God, I'm gonna get upset. I'm not gonna talk about it. No, I'm joking, but infuriating to me. So what? Oh wait, how did you learn tarot or get into it? So I don't know if I talked to you about this yet, like in depth, but really, I did mention at some point the moon deck was how I got into, so I got an oracle deck that got me into kind of tarot. So here we are, I guess. I really liked it. I really enjoyed pulling cards. I knew nothing about tarot, nothing about oracle. I had no one around me. I live in a small, in the middle of the nowhere town in Ohio, and I just was like completely out here doing my own thing. So I ended up getting my first tarot deck after watching, I got on YouTube, actually. I got on YouTube and I looked up the moon deck because I wanted to know like more about like what it was, like the creator, like any other things, like find other people who were doing what I was doing. And I thought it was really fun to see them, and then I just didn't stop. I got a bunch of decks and here we are. I just kept being really excited, and there was one point where I was pulling, like I had a little table that my brother made me. It's like a floor table, and I asked him to make me a table so I could sit like cross-legged on the floor on my little cushion, and I could pull my cards and I would lay them out. And I had like 5 different decks, and I was pulling a card from all 5 decks and like trying to read, again, having no idea what I was doing, but I was like reading them together, like doing before I knew what spreads were or readings were. I was just like all willy-nilly. And I don't know why I didn't like look into learning first. I was just like, I'm gonna get these cards, I'm gonna do stuff with them. I was just again really like, what does this card mean? Okay, well, what does this card mean for me then? And then like I would just like try to be really reflective, and that's, here we are. I did some like active learning after a while, but it's really been just, what does this card make me feel? And what does that mean? Okay. Best news in tarot world you heard lately. That's a weird one for my brain. I'm always excited to hear when like creators that I love are coming out with new decks. Oh, take it back. I actually sang that. So the creator of the Blood Moon Tarot, Sam, they said that they were coming out with an oracle deck, which got me really, really excited. You guys know my obsession with Blood Moon, so that was really exciting. How many decks are on your to get list? I just started actually like recording down this because my wish list is just like, I don't remember anything. I'm like, oh, I want that, and then it's gone until I see it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to get that deck. So I have 3 out of print decks, and then 2, 4, I have 10 Actually, one of these is going to be marked off because I have it. This is a deck that I was looking to get for the shop, but anywho, about 10 that I've so far recorded. So 13 total decks that are on my like to get list. I ended up getting a couple of decks that were on my like to get list. I did a deck haul recently, like over the last couple months, and I had ended up getting a couple of decks because actually I think all 3 of the ones that I had really been looking for were like a get it now or else. And so I finally like was like, okay, I can't wait obviously anymore. Oh yes, I forgot this question. I should have prepared. If you could only keep 3 decks, which one would you choose and why? So I want to redo my top 10. And this question's asking me to do my top 3. I'm not ready to sweat like this. This is not, okay, so what I'll do is I'll give you my, if I could only keep 3 decks right now, like my current feelings, and know that it might change once I actually sit with it and think about it. I think if I could only keep 1 deck, it would be Outgrow Yourself. It's so funny because like I've always like loved the deck, but this past like 2 years, I feel like I've become the spokesperson. I think I said that in a comment today to somebody. I feel like I've become the spokesperson for Outgrow Yourself. I can't help it. It's just my deck. How does one pick between all the loves of their life? Why is it easier for me to choose that one than it is for me to find the next 2? I think there's just so many that are really fighting for 2 and 3 right now. It's just so hard. I think the core decks that I've always loved, I will like always really love. So like the first decks I think of after are like the Gentle Tarot, the Future Ancestor. I think about, I almost said Oak, Smoke, and Oak, Ash, and Thorn, Smoke, Ash, and Embers. I think of immediately. Practical Magic, Way Home, Visions. I know that's not a tarot deck, but Extraordinary Incantations, I'm super into right now. Ritual Tarot, I already talked about the Apparitions. Iris, oh god, I love Iris. I was just talking about how much I love Iris too. I don't think I can do it. And that's just like decks in the shop. That's not including some of my Rock With Me's. I love Spreadcrafters so much too. Oh geez Louise, guys. You're gonna have to wait for my top 10. I'm not ready for this right now. I can give you Outgrow Yourself as a definitive. And I think I would throw up and cry if I had to pick. I only pick 2 more. It's like, it's not that serious, but it feels that serious. It makes me feel panicked. I think like I'm immediately, my brain's like, oh my god, there's a fire. Grab what you can. What 3 would I grab? I cannot tell you. It's like, how do I leave Playful Heart, you know, how do I leave these decks? I would put them in my pants and in my shirt and throw them out the window. Like, they have a better chance. Okay. I'll take them all. Thank you. Have a nice day. How does knowing tarot influence your everyday? It helps me be really mindful and reflective. I was like the immediate thought. I was like, I'm really mindful and reflective because of it. And I have something to lean on and like come back to, and keeps me honest. I'm just being silly. How does knowing, okay, so sorry, that's the one I just did. If you could turn back the time, would you have learnt tarot any other way? No, it's very Cassie Chaos magic. It's very like, I'm not prepared and I'm just gonna do it. I am very grateful for the fool in me who just continuously leaps and just trusts themselves. So shout out to me. I feel like that Snoop Dogg clip. I want to thank me for putting in the whole, you know, if you don't know. Just look up Snoop Dogg, I Want to Thank Me clip, and that's me right now. What are your thoughts on the Three of Swords? We talked about this, how I feel about the Three of Swords. I hate Three of Swords moments. I hate pulling the card, which it was stalking me at one point, and so you know how I feel about that. Then I really dislike the like traditional like Rider-Waite-Smith heart with the like swords in it, so I don't love that depiction of it. But just like what's next? How many decks do you have right now? Too many, probably, for most people, but it feels good right now. I got a lot of them kind of combed through, and the ones that I wasn't using, I let go at the like end of last year. I do still have probably more than I can manage most days. I think that something I'm trying to be good about is finding, like, when I'm like going to work with a deck, it's like, what am I looking to do, and do I have a deck that like a deck that specifically does that well, or a deck that I want to try out. And I'm like trying to do a little better at rotating, because I was getting really bad at just like having a whole shelf of decks that I never touched, because I had like these ones that I always pulled from. So I will give you a count on that. I'm going to do an update on my collection. I think I'm going to break them into like indie decks and mass market decks. I just did a mass market one. That's why I wanted to do like an indie one. So I think I'm going to do that. I think that'll be cool. So a lot of decks, I would say. And I think that something to note here that's really important is that everybody, it has the right to have the amount of decks that they need for their collection that feels good to them, and whatever works for you is what works for you. And I'm very happy if you have found the right number of decks for you. And I love when everybody chooses what's best for them. And if you could befriend one person on TarotTube in Tarot World, who'd it be? That's a hard one. I love a lot of people here. Because that's probably Waves of Your Soul, Maureen, is definitely the person I think of probably first. And that's because it's somebody that like I feel like I've connected to in some way already. And I can't help it though. I'm a lover, so I love everybody. And that would be an extensive list if I like everyone that I wish that I could befriend in person. I don't even need like in-person time with people anyways, because I'm in just a very, like, I have a toddler and a small business and just a crazy amount of things to do. So I don't have like a lot of in-person time. So like, I think that my like availability for a relationship right now really works for just like the people I connect with on here, and like having people that I love and support, and people who love and support me, and it's just really beautiful. I do love like getting to know them better. Like, so people that I have like talked to, like getting to know them better feels really nice. And just know I'm always rooting for you and I love you. What is your favorite part of the day to do tarot? When the sun is shining through my window. So about 3 p.m. I love when it's like sunny right here and I'm just like pulling a card, you know? I love to pull cards at all different times of day. I love, sometimes I'll do morning, sometimes I'll do afternoon, sometimes I'll do night. It depends what I'm looking for, what I'm feeling, if I'm having a hard time, if I'm not, just so many things. It's not like a question, but they gave a confession. So let me think of a tarot confession I can give you. Oh, here's a tarot confession. I always worry that when I post videos, or I'm about to post a video, I'm like, nobody cares about this or wants to hear about this. Someone's gonna think that I am like trying to be a what is the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't feel like I ever want to come across as being like a knowledge on tarot and like I'm like big bad. I want to relate with people. I want to connect with people. I want to be here with people. I don't want to be like in this weird thing. I don't know what it is, but like I've had a few moments with people where like I like met them genuinely and like we had like a common interest of like kind of like esoteric witchy vibes, and like so they'll tell me they like tarot and I'm like, oh, I love tarot, I have tarot decks, and we'll talk, and then they find out I have the shop and then they're like, oh, like look at me over here talking. I'm like, I'm not saying I know more. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm crazy and I love them and I took a big leap that most people again, fool's journey in it. So, but I never want like someone to feel like I'm trying to be like the law on something, or what is it? An authority. I'm not trying to be an authority. Thank you, me, for figuring out what word I was trying to use. But I'm not like trying to be an authority on things. I'm just trying to like connect with people and be tarot friends. Bringing it back to the tag as always. Not actually, it's just me rambling. This is the silliest video probably. I'm a rambling man. Trying to think if there's any other tarot confessions I have for you. I gave away I got 2 tarot decks as my first 2 tarot decks, and I gave one of them away and I regret it always. I also gave away another deck that was one of like my first 10 decks because it was out of my like league at the time and I didn't know. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I still sincerely regret giving away both. Actually, one of my out of print decks that's on my list is one of my first decks, and it's the Persephone Tricolor Tarot, and then also Stunning Tarot. So I gave away my first edition of the Stunning Tarot. I have back like the 3rd or 4th one, but it doesn't have the same Lovers card, and it makes me sad. So Tarot confessions. Tarot confessions. I have a ton of decks on the shelf, and they're a mess right now. Tarot confessions. Though I read for other people, I'm starting to do like actual readings for other people. Still get nervous that everyone thinks I'm stupid. Tarot confessions. I just want to love you and tarot.